Congratulate head coach Sarina Wiegman for adding one more trophy in their collection after last year's Euro success.
Thank you.
And we will open the floor for questions. We start here in the middle, gentlemen. First hand raised.
Evening, Sarina. A long night for you and for your players. How do you sum it up?
Well, a very exciting night at the end. It started with, of course, an incredible crowd, an incredible pitch too. So this environment we'll never take for granted. It's just incredible to be part of. I think the first half we played really well. They played a little different, in a different shape, and they weren't able to put press on us enough. So we had a lot of possession. We created lots of chances. We scored an incredible goal. We had hoped we had scored a little more than one. And the second half they went back to 4-4-2 and put very high press, and then we were struggling. So you saw actually two different halves. We were struggling to get out of their press to keep the ball in possession. So then they became dangerous. And yeah, what I said a couple of times, when we got out of press, sometimes we were offside. That didn't help either. So and at the end we conceded a goal, which can happen, of course. I think the team did really well by just showing resilience. So that was done. We're moving forward. We have to do a job and take the penalties as good as possible or stop it as good as possible. And that's what we did.
And is it good for you to experience a penalty shootout ahead of the World Cup rather than end up in that situation without having experienced it before with this team?
Yeah, I think that always helps. Experiences, then you recognize situations, you know how you feel when you have that walk with 83,000 people screaming. So I think that really helps, and it showed again that we can do it, and that we know what job we have to do when we go into those penalties. So yes, after all, I'm really happy with the penalties. In the moment when we tie, of course I wasn't happy. We all weren't happy, but we switched real quickly.
Second row, please. Next question.
Congratulations, Sarina.
Thank you.
You mentioned then the resilience of the team, obviously after conceding that goal to then switch back, you say, in the penalty shootout. So was that sort of another box ticked before the World Cup, another experience ticked, and another sign that your team can do it in the pressure moments? Yeah, well, I think we have showed that before. I think last year we have had some hard moments too, and the team really showed that we can do it. So that was, as we call evidence-based, but we didn't have a shootout yet in an environment like this. And yeah, of course you practice it and you try to get as close as possible to a real game, like in penalty kicks, but it can't get more real than this. So I think that really helps. Every experience will help you to move forward.
We go next question in the corner. Here, the lady. Hello.
Hi, Sarina, Julia Bellis from Gibraltares. What would you say was the main challenge for facing Brazil tonight? Thank you and congratulations on the title.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, congrats to Brazil too, because I think they played a very good game, especially the second half. And of course, they have lots of players playing here in Europe too, but they had to travel too, and then traveling and then playing on Thursday and putting a game like this on the pitch, I think that was really good. And they also, they really challenged us. I think what we said in the press conference, that was yesterday, yeah?
Already.
They've structured that, what you saw the first, but they hadn't done that before. But they did have a plan in that, and as they did the second half, they're very athletic, but lots of power, and players that can have individual actions and are unpredictable. That's actually what we all saw in the second half, and that challenged us. So I think people have seen a good game. I think we were more happy with the first half than the second half, but at the end it was a real game.
Second row on the side here, gentlemen.
Hi, Sarina. Were you surprised that Brazil used the system they did from the start? And why did England play so well in that situation?
Well, surprised. Well, I've known Pia for a long time, and she always plays in a 4-4-2 with most of the teams. So I was a little surprised, but we at the end we were prepared for it too. That you can always change the shape, and they had some injuries, so maybe she wanted to try that too. Well, they couldn't get the press because when we kept the ball moving, we had, especially on the side, so much space that the distance the players had to run to get press on the ball was really hard. So that helped us that first part because we kept moving the ball.
In the middle here, Ben, third row.
Thank you. Congratulations, Sarina. I'm just wondering how helpful you think that maybe second half wake-up call might be before the World Cup to have things to learn from now rather than maybe experiencing some of those things in the second half during the tournament.
Yeah, wake-up call sounds like we are, not doing our best or something. So we're always doing our best. It's not a wake-up, I wouldn't say wake-up call, but we were really challenged and with a very high press, very aggressive. And that's what we needed. Yeah, that's what we need to be aware of those moments and how can we do better. And if you're not challenged in those moments and it starts at the World Cup, then we were aware, but then you didn't have that practice. So it's a game you want to win, but it's also a practice. You take from every game, you take learnings. So I think that was really good, and that's what we said ahead of the game too. We hope to be challenged in defense too, or in transition moments, and that's what happened today.
Please, may I also just quickly ask you about Chloe Kelly, who obviously scored the winning goal in the final and now scores a winning penalty. She seems to have enjoyment for these moments at Wembley.
Yeah, very good, isn't it? Yeah. She. I said it to her too. At the end, it's a team thing, but it was really nice. Now the final moment, and here was the final moment. I said, that looks really good. So, yeah. Nice. She get to that moment, of course, when we get really through to the penalty shootout. But that was a nice moment for the team, and also a very nice moment for her.
We'll take two more questions here in front, and then we'll finish.
Hi, Sarina. First, congratulations for the title. You mentioned that you know Pia for a long time. I'd like to talk a little bit about the tactical challenges during the 92 minutes. A lot of changes like Laura James with Lauren Hemp. It's like changing position. Andressa close to Kira Walsh in the second half. How is the tactical battle during the 92 minutes?
Yeah, well, that's what you could see. So they were well prepared. We were well prepared, and they want to take out some of our strengths, and we want to take out their strengths, and that was a difference between the first half and the second half. And of course, Brazil is also preparing for the World Cup, so they want to try out some things too and be challenged. So it's funny, those no, it's not funny. It's that trying to do your job as good as possible to come in your own strengths and to exploit possible weaknesses of the opponent. And that's a nice part of the job of a coach.
We'll finish with where we started, Ben, here. We'll do the whole circle.
Sorry, Sarina, one more question from me. You mentioned a little bit earlier about Chloe Kelly. She said after the game that she feels that Wembley is fast becoming a second home for her. Does Wembley feel like a home for you and for the players as well, for the team?
Yeah, of course it feels like home for us. We have so many great memories here. So yeah, it's really enjoyable to get to play here. First of all, because of the pitch is just really good, but then it's a historical stadium too. So to play here in England, with and then a couple of very very good games. So we had of course it was Northern Ireland, but then of course Germany, USA, and now Brazil. Those are the opponents you want to play against in an environment like this. And then it's also really nice when you win a prize or you win the game. Of course it feels like home.
And then you're selling the stadium out quite regularly now, and the England men can't claim that, so presumably you'd like to continue playing here even more often.
I think these are such special occasions, and then it's really nice. Like this game was sold out, I think in 1 or 2 weeks when this game was announced. So that's really nice. But I've also enjoyed to play at some state very nice. There's so many nice stadiums in England. Playing in other stadiums in other environments where other people can also watch the games, those stadiums have been really nice too. So if we can sell out all the time, please, and wherever that is, and it's really nice to play here. And it's very special to have these occasions like Germany, USA, and now Brazil.
Congratulations again, and
Thank
good
you.
luck with the next one.
Thank you very much.
In Australia, no?
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye.